Welcome back to the 90 More podcast. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to a brand new video. Chelsea have sacked Thomas Tuchel. That is done. That is dusted. Now, in an official statement written by Todd Boehly and signed by the sporting director himself, Chelsea have confirmed the departure of Thomas Tuchel as head coach and boss at the Stamford Bridge. Now, this comes in as a very shocking decision to many Chelsea fans and football as well. Personally, I did predict Thomas Tuchel as one of the managers that will be sacked inside this season, but I didn't expect it to be this early. And I didn't expect it to be this very, very abrupt. Now, according to Chelsea, in a statement that they have released on their official website, they confirmed that on behalf of everyone at Chelsea, the club would like to place on record its gratitude to Thomas Tuchel and his staff for all their efforts during their time with the club. Thomas will rightly have a place in the Chelsea's history after winning the Champions League, the Super Cup, and the Club World Cup during his time here at the Stamford Bridge. As the new ownership group reaches 100 days since taking over the club, and as it continues its hard work to take the club forward, the new owners believe it is the right time to make this transition. Chelsea's coaching staff will take charge of the team for the training and the preparation of our upcoming matches as the club moves swiftly to appoint a new head coach. There will be no further comment until a new head coach has been appointed, until the appointment is actually made. Now, that is the statement coming in from Chelsea. Todd Boehly, the interim sporting director, has just confirmed that he has sacked Thomas Tuchel on behalf of everyone at Chelsea. Now, Chelsea fans, talk to me in the comment section. Talk to me about this. How do you feel? Is this a decision that you would really have taken against Thomas Tuchel right now? Now, we understand there are a lot. Personally, I do understand there is a lot of bad energy in the Chelsea dressing room. The results are not coming in the way they expected, and it has been an absolute chaos. And losing to Dynamo Zagreb yesterday in the UEFA Champions League just made things worse, for Thomas Tuchel. And I think, his reaction after that game, it just didn't make any sense for me. Really saying, I do not know, he doesn't know about so many questions that he was asked about. I really didn't understand him. But sacking Thomas Tuchel right now, a world-class manager that we know won the UEFA Champions League inside his first season at Chelsea. Is this the ultimate right decision for Chelsea? And who's gonna come in if Chelsea, if Chelsea are gonna get a manager as quickly as possible? Now, according to The Athletic, I've looked at it as well, and they're saying Chelsea Football Club are also very, very keen on getting in a new manager before their next match. That is gonna be on the weekend, in the Premier League. They want to get in a new manager before their next game. On the list is Mauricio Pochettino, Zinedine Zidane, and Graham Potter at Brighton and Brighton and Hove. It's gonna be very interesting to see who is leading the rest. A couple of reports looking at Graham Potter. A couple of reports looking at Mauricio Pochettino leading the rest to become new Chelsea boss. But these are my opinions, and this is what I think about Chelsea sacking Thomas Tuchel. Number one, it really doesn't make any sense for me to sack a manager who is sitting 6th on the table, 5 points behind league leaders Arsenal Football Club. Now, you will understand the frustration that comes with the lack of good football, with the lack of positive play and everything, and the results that have been really, really poor. Because football, above everything else, football is a result-oriented game. When you do not have the results, you have nothing to back you as a sporting director, as a manager, as a technical director, as an owner for a club. Results are what justifies your stay or your departure. And I think rightly so, Todd Boehly will have a very, very good excuse here on Thomas Tuchel that there were no results. We didn't have the results we desired as a club. And that's why we have decided to part ways with Thomas Tuchel. But why it doesn't make any sense, guys? Thomas Tuchel has just been given 300 million euros to spend in the recent summer. The transfer window has not taken a month ever since it was shot. The likes of Wesley Fofana have been given to him as a manager. The likes of, so many signings, the likes of Koulibaly have been brought in through the door. And somehow the manager has been sacked before even some of his signings could actually step on the pitch. The likes of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang have not had chance to play under Thomas Tuchel, and he has been sacked. This is a rash decision that Todd Boehly will regret, for me, at some point in time. And he will regret this, first and foremost, if he doesn't make the right replacement to Thomas Tuchel. Now, I understand everyone hyping Graham Potter and thinking that Graham Potter is the right guy for the job. I think he's done a fantastic job at Brighton. If you look at Brighton and the way they are, very organized, well-coached side. They're very explosive and they're so strong as a side. They're very, very together. They're so connected, unified. They're together. But the level of experience that Thomas Tuchel has dealing with such clubs, dealing with world-class clubs. He's been at Dortmund. He's been at PSG. The level of influence, the level of experience he has cannot be compared to Graham Potter's. Graham Potter is a very decent manager because he's at Brighton. Brighton do not demand anything apart from staying in the league and probably staying, competing for the top 10. If you do that, then you're a hero at Brighton. This is not the same thing at the Stamford Bridge. The environment, the demands at the Amex are very different from the demands at the Stamford Bridge. And this is where Chelsea fans, for me, are a little bit delusional and are getting it wrong. But for me, let's go back to Todd Boehly being sporting director for Chelsea. It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. He must not be interim sporting director. He must not be taking up one of the biggest roles in football and at the life of a football club. Sporting director for Todd Boehly is a wrong. I think it's a right. You have the right guy in a wrong job. Todd Boehly should be, at the ATM, pressing in pins, making sure that Chelsea have the, sufficient funding, sufficient backing. That is what he's supposed to do. But being sporting director, deciding on who comes in and who doesn't come in at this football club is absolutely above the standards. Is absolutely above the qualification of Todd Boehly. And I think this is one of the decisions he has made. And in my opinion, I've gone, this is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. I do not care if Zinedine Zidane comes in. I don't care if Mauricio Pochettino comes in. This is wrong. And this is the reason. The signings that we have seen, the likes of Koulibaly, the likes of Fofana, all the signings are geared towards playing a back three, right? So you look at Fofana, you look at Koulibaly, they're all like-for-like replacements of Andreas Christensen and Anton Rudiger, both who have departed the club for Spain. And you look at Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and the reason that's why Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang signed for Chelsea is because he understands the manager, and Thomas Tuchel really understands, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and that's why he said, among all the strikers available in the world, get me Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I will know how to get the best out of him. So there is no way Chelsea are gonna tell us that every decision in the market that has been made is not Thomas Tuchel's decision. It is Thomas Tuchel's decision, and he has spent over 300 million euros in the market. And if we take just a little step back, when Ronaldo was going to Chelsea, Thomas Tuchel said, no, we don't need him. I don't need him here. I really don't have any room for the services of Cristiano Ronaldo. And Chelsea decided against signing Cristiano Ronaldo. So all these signings, all these decisions that have been taken have been directed and helped on by Thomas Tuchel. And sacking him right now, before any of his signings, come to life, sacking him right now before he can bring the best out of his signings just doesn't make any sense. And like I said, for me, he's 5 points behind league leaders, Arsenal, and we know Arsenal do have their own problems when it comes to injuries hitting them very early. So Chelsea do have a very big chance of competing for the top 3, of competing for the top 4. Bringing in a new manager means bringing in new demands, means Chelsea spending more money on players that another manager is going to ask for. And that is what I don't understand by Todd Boehly, giving a manager 300 million euros and then sacking him and then bringing in another one who's going to ask you for another extra 100 million euros. Chelsea is going to be one of the most poorly run clubs in London now. They are going to be one of the worst run clubs in London. That is that decision to sack Thomas Tuchel after giving him 300 million euros and then coming out in the media and saying it is not about the results. This decision has been made a couple of days ago, some time ago. We wanted to make the transition. But you don't make a transition after giving a manager 300 million euros. They got it wrong. They absolutely got it wrong. So let us look at the managers they're looking at and how suitable are they for the job, and how well can they use the current Chelsea squad without spending a lot of money. Number 1, Mauricio Pochettino. Now, we very well know that Pochettino is a very great manager. For me, he's a very, very good manager. He's been at PSG, Paris Saint-Germain. Things have actually not worked out very well. But for me, that doesn't really take anything away from him. He's a very quality manager. He's a high-class manager. But if he comes in at this Chelsea side, we very well know he doesn't play a back 3, right? So it's either he will demand for players that can play in a back 4, or he's going to turn these players up, the players he has, into players who can play a back 4. And if it doesn't work out, you're either going to sack him or you're going to give him the kind of players that he actually wants. I won't be very, very surprised if he comes in and he asks for Harry Kane and dumps Aubameyang. I won't be very surprised if Mauricio Pochettino comes in and says, "Give me Heung-min Son from Spurs. I've worked with him, and he's a very, very, is a very great guy." So if Pochettino comes in at Chelsea, I think he's one manager that can stretch his abilities and work with the current squad, but they will have to spend more money to suit the demands, his demands as a manager. Graham Potter as well. If you look at the quality he has at Brighton and the quality Chelsea have, then you might argue that Graham Potter might not need to spend a lot of money to create an impact on this Chelsea side. My fear with Graham Potter is if it doesn't work out, he has more chances of not working out, and then you sack him and then bring in another manager, and as you go through these transitions, you're falling behind the likes of Arsenal, you're falling behind the likes of Manchester City, and you're falling behind the likes of Liverpool. I think Graham Potter is a great manager, but is he great at a top level? Is he great at a club like Chelsea? I personally wanted him at Arsenal. I feel because Arsenal was in a period where you wanted someone who has a clear philosophy. And I think this is why Chelsea have sacked Thomas Tuchel. They believe he can win games. They believe he's a great manager, but the philosophy he's trying to implement in this Chelsea side is not very, very visible. So if you want a philosophy, then Graham Potter is the guy, but is he well tested for the top level? There is a big question. The other is Zinedine Zidane. I think, in my opinion, Zinedine Zidane is the right guy for the job. We all thought he would be going to Paris Saint-Germain. That actually didn't work out very well. So if they bring in Zinedine Zidane, then in my opinion, they will have to spend more money than they have spent. Chelsea will have to spend more, another 200 million euros across the upcoming windows if they bring in Zinedine Zidane. He's not going to work with Jorginho. He's not going to work with all these lazy players around the pitch. He's not going to work with them. The likes of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is going to demand more standards. He's going to demand higher standards. And to do that, it's going to be more of Todd Boehly trying to reach the standards of Zinedine Zidane. And, because his CV spells it out. He's a winner. And for me, Chelsea, spending another 200 million euros before testing the players they've spent 300 million euros on is an absolute shambles. So, guys, is this a wrong decision? Is this one of the worst decisions Chelsea have taken in their history? Could it be one of the best decisions they've actually taken? What do you think about this? And probably the last thing I would love to say here is that there is a possibility that Thomas Tuchel has been sacked because of the pitch, controversies and conspiracies. Now, we know, we knew when it came out of PSG, that is when we knew that the reason that's why he actually left was because he did have disagreements with the ownership at Paris Saint-Germain. And my gut tells me that Thomas Tuchel has left Chelsea Football Club. He has been sacked by Chelsea Football Club because there is a lot of, there are so many points they do not agree with this new management, with this new era at Chelsea Football Club. Probably not because of transfers, but I think there is something that sooner or later we will know. Otherwise, it still baffles me. It still really baffles me that they have sacked a world-class manager after giving him 300 million euros. And we will talk about this situation in the upcoming streams and in the upcoming videos. But Chelsea fans, talk to us here on 90 More. How do you feel? Is this the right decision by Todd Boehly? Is this the right call to sack Thomas Tuchel out of the Chelsea job?